Hey, everybody. We are live.
Hi, I'm here.
All right. So we've got a lot of news from the community. She's been talking to you guys all day.
Don't block the number because I got informed by a couple people
Yeah.
to not block the number.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a very successful.
Get into the bank story. I want to get right into it because I want people to get this.
Okay. All right. So hi, you guys. All right. So I've had a lot of comments today. People that have called me. They've talked about the bank stuff. So I'll start with one of them. Well, hi. Well, I guess we should say hi to everybody that's in here real quick.
I'm going to do a community call out at the very end. Let's try to get through the story right
Okay,
now.
real quick. All right.
Sorry, guys. I want to get this out so the people that click on the video later will get the information.
Yep, I agree. All right. So we've had two bank stories. Well, we had several bank stories today, but I'll go into two of them real quick, and I'm going to give you some tips that I've learned or what we do. So one of them is there's a guy that called in, and he said that his company has been, so we've always said, hey, go with the local federal credit union. They're safer. They're whatever. Well, he has been, his company has been with this local federal credit union for about 35 plus years. And he asked that I didn't give his name, obviously, so we're not going to give details. But so he's obviously used them for quite a few years. And he's every now and then does withdrawals and stuff. And so he called ahead. He said, hey, I want to schedule a withdrawal, a little bit significant, but not huge. So he did it 2 times.
It was $100,000. You can say the amount because they don't know who it is. It was a large amount.
It was a large, and he called ahead.
Probably had something to do with it.
He called ahead. He had it scheduled. The third time he went to do it, he walked up there. They had completely froze his accounts. They had turned it over to the Security Investigation Department, and he has tried several times to ask what the status is. They've given him no status update. He does not have access to his funds. He's been dealing with this bank for several years. He's basically shut off. He's like, man, I don't know what to do. He said, I don't even know what I have in my account at this point. And I'm like, I didn't even really know what to tell him. And so he was taking everything that he had that he could get his hands on at this point and was basically getting gold and silver because he said this is a learning experience for him.
Yeah, and we should all learn from this. And it turns out whenever you take your money up to the bank, it is no longer your money.
True. Nope.
So,
true.
And as we get into this and the more stories we hear like this, it really makes you want to, take it out and do something with it. But, you got to leave some in there. And I'm going to keep on talking about these topics with other people that are in the finance space. I did it with Heresy Financial and Nobody Special Finance, and that went pretty good. That was about people that were from 50 to 400,000.
Right.
And I'm going to do the people that are under that and have nothing. And I'm actually going to talk to you guys in a minute because I might have a few ways for you to make money, save money, which is the same thing as making money. In just a second, it's a little quick tip that you probably already know, but somebody's going to save money, I promise.
No, we're learning every single day. And I told somebody today, I said, that's been the biggest, we don't get paid a penny for doing some of this, but that's been one of the biggest rewards is all the information that you guys call in, you share, we share to you guys. We're all learning. And I think that's huge, huge. So the second thing was another subscriber, he's ordered actually precious metals before. He went to his bank. And as we've discussed before, guess what? The grid was down. And he said not only was the grid down, but the software was down. And so that brought me to talk to him about, hey, so when it came back on, he had to confirm what he actually had in his account. So here's a tip that what I personally do every week. And I am the person that I'm like over the top, probably the legal, the make sure everything's safe, secure. I drive Chris crazy sometimes on this, but every week I take a screenshot of our bank accounts and I see what is in our accounts and I match it up every single week. You can either print it, you can put it in a file, you can do whatever you want. But if the grid goes down or something happens, here's a tip, you guys, listen, you can prove what you had in your account. Because a lot of us, we do electronic. We don't get bank statements in the mail anymore. Everything is just online and you better have some way to back it up or you have no idea what you have in your account.
So take screenshots.
That's what I do every week.
See your account in case something happens. And I don't really know how much that's going to help, but at least you'll have something.
You have a documentation, something, an argument.
Yeah. And be your own bank. That's the best thing to do is be your own bank, have some precious metals. And I keep enough in there to speculate on some stocks and stuff like that and pay bills and a little extra. But,
right.
we've got several businesses that have their own bank account, and
Yep.
it's just a strange time, especially as we get into this. It gets even stranger. We've got some real estate to talk about as well.
Oh man, there's so much that's happened this week. I mean, we could go on for an hour tonight. That's how much that's gone on this week.
Yeah,
I mean, I come to Chris and I'm like, oh, I'm just like garbage of like just spilling out
she
stuff.
talks to people nonstop
Yep.
from 7 in the morning until 8 at night, and it's just the intel we get is incredible.
It's amazing. And what I learned.
Hey, thanks for hitting the likes up, guy. The thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And
Just
sharing this information is, if you know somebody that doesn't know anything about this, that's got their head in the sand, share it. That would be great.
I'm showing my number because they said I put my head in the way a lot of times. Sorry. No, and every time you guys share it, you like it or whatever, and you call us and you give information, that's just one more step that we're giving people free information. Free information. And I was talking to someone today. This is something that isn't provided. You don't get this information when you talk to your local media. But let's talk about interest rates. So I was talking to another lady today, which I had another interesting conversation with, and she asked not that I give her name or the company, but interest rates are obviously going up, which is making their pension funds go way down. And she said they are leaving the company by the hundreds. This is a really large company. She's hanging on right now. She's not sure what she's going to do. So interest rates are affecting the pension funds, making the pension funds go down. And they're like, I'm done. I'm out.
It's affecting everything. The housing market is getting cratered right now. I'm getting so many people reach out to me that are, they do the construction side, that's slowing down.
Yep.
Talked to Dan yesterday forever, and he said,
Dan allegedly.
Yeah, Dan allegedly. He said he was in Vegas, and there was like 40 houses per mile the last time he was there a month ago, and now there is 100 houses within a mile that are for sale. Mm-hmm. So inventory starting to pile up, and this is what we know 100% for sure. As home prices decrease and people have to move, people are going to have to sell for whatever reason it may be. And that is going to bring home prices down more. It's kind of a cascade effect. Yeah. And as this happens, foreclosures are going to pick up. Banks are going to start taking possession of these houses. Mm-hmm. Try to think about how you can make money and make the most of this, because it's going to take investors to pull us out of this. Like I've said it before, I've said his name. The Ninja talk about it all the time. Maybe a side hustle with a trailer and a truck. Get ready to clean these houses up. You'll be on the front lines of, all of it coming down in front of us, and be able to, help and do your part and pull everybody out of it. But there's nobody anymore that's saying we're never going to have a real estate crash. Remember, they were all the time in the comments, not going to happen. Yep. Nope. I begged them to come on and debate me.
And I hate that. I hate seeing it. I hate seeing we're going to have a crash.
Yeah, but you cannot just avoid. You can't just say, I'm not going to do it.
The bubble's too high. It's just too high.
Yeah. So thank God we sold our rental properties. I'm so happy. It was hard to do, but I'm glad we did.
But there's tips. There's way to learn. There's like he said, the side hustle. So we get asked all the time when people call us. They're like, "Oh, is this all you do?" I'm like, "Heck no! I have 5 businesses." I'm like,
we're busy guys.
We have so many different. That is our goal. Is we try to have several different incomes coming in at all points. And when this one dries up, this one kind of goes a little down. This one comes in. And would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but that's what has to do. So right now we're seeing home prices obviously are going to go down. So you guys, if you guys see things like that, you're interested in it, let us know. If we need to do a video that would help you guys, we'll help you guys with foreclosure, short sales. I can tell you all about that. Auctions, how to get into that kind of stuff, because that is apparently going to happen. Get your credit line ready. Get ready for your, go ahead.
You're
dying to jump.
No, you're right. Well, the auctions kind of petered out. Everybody kind of got wise to it, and the banks were there buying their own properties, bidding them up.
They were. They were.
I've never bought a real estate, a piece of property from an auction. Before I'd gotten there, a few years ago, it was a really big thing, and people were getting some really good deals. But that might start picking up again when when inventory really picks up. That's prices are going to go down and people are going to go belly up. There's people I know that are this far from being belly up every month. They're living paycheck to paycheck in a house way much nicer than they need, and cars that are brand new, and the story, the whole deal, and they're all over the place.
They are. They are.
Before I forget, I do want to touch on gold backs, but that's probably
No,
later.
go for it. So go for it for next, and then I want to go to the railroads and a few other things that people have talked about. Go for
Okay,
this.
so I've been getting a lot of
me too. I've been getting a lot of questions about this.
about gold
Touch on it.
backs.
Yep.
And to tell you the truth, I didn't really know a lot about it. So I started looking around into it today. I got some questions about it, and all it is, it looks like a piece of paper, but it's actually gold. There's little tiny bits of gold in it, laid real thin, and you can take an ounce of gold and bust it up into 200 gold backs. They're small denominations. The problem is you can get an ounce of gold for about $1,860 right now.
It's way overpriced.
And you can get an ounce of those gold backs for $3,500 and it's over $3,500. It's double the price to do the gold back thing. Yes. I get denominations are, it's easier distributed, but that's why you would probably use silver. So I'm going to say I'm not a real fan of gold backs at this moment until the premiums come down. But can you imagine how hard it is to make a gold back? You're paying
a lot of money
for a lot of
it's a lot of
stuff that's just not gold.
Yeah, that to put into it to process it. I mean, it takes money just to even melt the gold, put a stamp on it. Can you imagine doing that? The
best deal I've seen so far that has to do with small denominations in gold and silver would be the Valcambi gram bars.
The Combi bar.
The Combi bar. Yeah. Where you can snap off what
is you can do a gram, you can do 1/10 of an ounce. We just talked about it the other day.
And the premiums are almost the same as a regular round.
It's incredible.
So you can buy it by the ounce now and break it off and sell it by the gram later. That's a side hustle. Hey, what happens when the price of gold goes up a little bit and people don't want to buy a whole piece? They just want to buy a gram. Sell them a gram, So there's another one. I got something I want you to do on your phone in just a second.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing is, like I said, we're on here already started 11 minutes, but this week has been like chock full of stuff that's going on.
It's going to get more. We're going to start doing more of these.
Well, I can't keep up lately. So we've had so we talked about, so insurances are also going up. So you guys, okay, another tip. Here's a tip. A tip. So insurance is going up every single, almost a month. Go check your insurance policies. Call around.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It is. And here's the thing is I tell my insurance companies, it's not that I'm not trying to be loyal to you guys, not at all. But you're going to have to come down on your insurance rate, or you're going to have to I'm going to another one. Shop around. The key
every 3 years.
Oh, I just dropped my pen. Yep. He is right. Every 3 years on the dot, we change. And
don't want to, but the prices go up every time.
They do. Every single time. And we have no record. Like there's nothing we filed. There's nothing we've done. That's just what happened. So I asked them why. And they said because they take on a lot of bad people. Well, I shouldn't say bad people. They take on a lot of people that are risky. And so we pay the penalty because we're the good policy holders. So you guys, I'm telling you, shop around. Don't just stick with your policy. We just saved, I don't know how many, couple $1,000 again. So, but this has to do with insurance. This has to do with your housing. So anyway, we'll move on from there.
My turn with a tip.
Okay.
Everybody's got an iPhone. Hit the like button. No, but for real, I want to give you a tip. Get your phone out right now. You're probably listening to me. It doesn't matter. Go to your settings. After you go to settings, go to your Apple ID. Click the Apple ID and go to subscriptions. It's 4 down.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So settings, go to your Apple ID, and then go to subscriptions and look around in there and see what kind of fat you can cut off that you're not using, that you can use that money to buy precious metals or just hold or whatever, because there's a lot of people that are saying we don't have any money to invest that are buying lattes and subscriptions they don't even know they have. And I'm one of them. Sometimes I'll get involved in a subscription. I don't even know how I got it, or I thought it was gone and it's still there. If you actually found something, let me know in the comments, because that would have helped me. I would have saved, a couple $100 if I'd have known that. And I knew that. It's just, I wish somebody would have told me, hey, do it right now. Hit those 3 buttons and see what you can cut out.
Well, here's a key too. Another tip. Go through your statements. Just don't blindly pay your bills. Go through your Visa. Go through your whatever. So every once in a while, I'll call him and I'll be like, hey, babe, I'm getting this notification every month. What is this for? What is this for? It's a monthly reoccurrence. What are we dealing with? Don't just blindly pay your bills. And I think people just write their checks sometimes. They blindly pay their bills. But anyway, we went off a sidetrack there. But that is a tip that I don't think people realize.
Speaking of paying bills, I got to add this.
Okay,
So my welding company has got a lot of people that owe it money.
They do.
And it seems like things around here are starting to slow down. The payments are starting to slow down. And albeit probably nothing, it's just, but still, when things starting to tighten up, you've got to start
You do.
keeping your cards a little bit closer. Make them wait a little bit longer, because if you're having to wait for your money, they're going to have to wait for your money. I like to pay my bills right on time. As soon as they come in, I like to pay them. It makes everybody happy, but we're going to have to start holding back, sandbagging a little bit. That's a little piece of information that you really might like.
Well, that's if you're dealing with business accounts. That's if you're dealing with business accounts. We're not talking about just somebody paying their Visa bill or stuff like that.
You can't. Yeah. Well,
but we're talking about business accounts. Like, so for example, Chris right now has some business accounts. So he's having to order material to build this to pay, and this guy's having to come to pay him. So it's just kind of a trickle down effect. So we're having to learn. You just can't pay that bill immediately. You're going to have to wait 30, 60 days to pay that bill. It's a little different than Visa bills, but you get what we're saying.
You get
on
the
that.
point.
Yeah.
And I actually did. When I was a kid, I went and tried to haggle Walmart.
Tell that story. That's hilarious. Tell this story. No,
my grandmother taught me how to barter.
My
grandmother taught me how to wheel and deal.
Yeah.
And she said, never pay full price for anything. So I went into Walmart and I got a Snickers bar and I put it on the counter. She says 50 cents. I said, I'll give you 30. And she said, it don't work like that here. So that's a true story. But there was a lesson that I learned that really is true. Don't ever pay full price for anything if you can help it.
Well, you try to work.
People will always take less usually.
Yeah. So anyway, so the next thing that came across today, and I actually have talked to a few people about this, from people that are on the ground. This is not just the news media. Apparently there's a railroad strike, possibly again. So I talked to 2 or 3 people about this, and here's what they said is interesting. And you guys tell me what you think, because I'm not in the railroad business, so I don't know. His dad has been more, but it used to be more like once a year, every 2 years, there'd be a strike. Apparently it is picking up the pace. We're talking every month, now every 3 weeks. There is a railroad strike. They are upset. They cannot get, everybody seem to get together. The interesting thing, I talked to a lady today, though. She said, hey, the good news is that everything that is going to be delivered by Christmas has already been shipped. She said everything that everybody's ordered for Christmas is going to be there by the end of October. She said, but the problem is that we're dealing with now, if they do go on strike, we're dealing with commodities. We're dealing with like foods, and we're dealing with essentials.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You get if you just imagine if
that's
you get
what she said.
The railroad shut down on top of the barges not being able to go up and down the Mississippi River. And if you heard my interview or my phone call with the Mississippi Riverboat captain, he was saying that ice is going to be a big problem this winter because of the current not being strong enough and just all the things that have to do with the low water levels. They can't haul as much. The railroad, it's usually a nothing burger because they have the emergency board, but I guess there's a day when
they've gone to Biden, they've gone to Biden. Apparently they've sent letter after letter, and apparently everything so far they've tried to get it through. But she said at some point it's going to break. She said, and I talked to her. She used to work with this, and she said it used to be like every couple years, whatever. She said, but it's become so consistent lately. She said at some point it has to break. There's going to be a point where they're going to say no longer. Not going to do anything. She said, you better look forward to this. She said, because it will break the supply chain. So I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on it, but we'll see.
Speaking of supply chain.
Okay.
The diesel fuel shortage.
Oh boy.
All right. So I've been hearing about this forever. Yep. I say forever. Ever since Carl Tuckerson came out. Was that his name? Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
He came out and did a video. It got like 1.5 million views about we've only got 25 days left of diesel. Well, that was like 10 days ago. So does that mean we have 15 days left of diesel? Not exactly. They're just saying the reserves, what's on the market, is a lot less than it should be. We're always going to have diesel. A lot of people miss this. The Ninja talked about this the other day.
They do.
They think, okay, there's not going to be any food. There will always be food.
Can you buy it?
You will not be able to afford it.
Yep.
It's going to be the same thing with diesel. Yep. There will be diesel. It might be $12 a gallon or 10. And it's hard for me to imagine, but we're going to see it. We are going to see some crazy astronomical fuel prices. And remember this, diesel fuel is the lifeblood of the economy. Nothing else. Everything stops with diesel.
It is.
I mean, it is
that
a big
shows
deal.
what's going on with the whole, and that guy, what was the guy we watched that interview with?
Oh, I'll think about it in a minute. He was good. I went and saw him in Miami.
I know you did. You met him. So he actually, ever since then, I look at things completely different. This has been over 2 years ago. We watched him. I've started watching the economics of the world so different. When you look at diesel, that is what shows what's going on with the world. That's what shows what's going on with the everything, the diesel fuel. And I was like,
I'll
wow,
think of it before the show's over.
that makes huge, huge, huge sense. But the prices are going up. And just a little side note, there is a butter shortage apparently. And there is
Ooh,
for
I
the
like
last
butter.
I do. I like butter. We cook a lot with butter.
Mhm.
But so I was like, maybe it's just kind of a fad because a lot of these things they come out, they're like, yeah, okay. And I go to the grocery store, I'm like, yeah, not happening. Yeah, not happening. Well, I've proven it. For about 6 weeks straight, we've had a butter shortage. And every grocery store I've been to. So I guess there is maybe, and I talked to some people and they were like, yeah, there's a problem with the cows and it trickles down on different things that's going on. So I guess you guys, if you like butter, maybe grab some and throw it in the freezer.
First, I've heard of this one. Sandy C at Uncommon Sense. Go check his channel out. He's saying several pumps in Florida we paid for 50 gallons and got no more than a half a gallon of actual fuel. The rest was air.
Oh,
That's
whoa.
how do you explain that one to the cashier? Because she doesn't know what's going on.
Wow.
Thank you, buddy. And I'm going to go through there. I want to see. I want to call all you guys.
Please,
out
I
at the very
do.
end.
Okay, we'll finish
I want to
one
hang
more
out with you in
couple.
just a minute,
Yeah,
but I want to get
couple
this
more things.
information out.
So people are cutting back on their savings. So so if you go back and you look around the COVID when COVID first happened, and this is going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but people were like saving. They had savings were up. Well, since then, people have gone, oh my goodness, we don't have the money. Interest rates have gone up. Prices gone up. Our savings have gone down. If you look at the percentage, it's gone way down. So people are cutting back. They've dipped into their savings. They're starting to go into their credit cards. And that's just where we're going right now. If you look at that percentage, so what that means when we talk about interest rates, we talk about housing, we talk about food, people are going to, that is where we are right now. They came out with a percentage the other day, and I forget the exact amount, but the percentage of savings has gone way down. And the people that are spending money in the credit cards have gone way up.
The velocity of money is slowing.
So here's another interesting thing when it comes to homes and all that kind of stuff. And I actually talked to a few guys about this. Building permits have gone way down. Roofing permits have gone down. The guy told me, he said that's kind of how he gauges his workload, is how when he goes to the courthouse, he's like, hey, what's going on with the building permits? What's going on with all this stuff? Gone way down, way down. So what this means, I don't know for everything, but this is just some stuff that people have called me. They've told me this is some stuff I'm going to give you guys.
And I know I've said it on 2 different shows about the pallet deal. I think I got another one coming out Monday. But this is a big deal. We've had 4 pallet operations that we know of
They've reached out
and said, hey, this happened right before 2008.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 3 to 6 months lag where we saw pallet demand fall off. And, it almost put some of them out of business. But this is kind of the canary in the coal mine that I didn't know. That never clicked until somebody pointed it out. So that's something you can kind of maybe hang your hat on about.
Let's
how
connect the
Congress
dots.
Doing.
It
Yeah,
is. You look over here,
one
you
more
see
clue,
this. Yep. I love it. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's
so
what we do. That's what we try to do. That's our goal, is to connect the dots.
And if there's any, I'm going to stay on the diesel topic. I'm going to look into it a little more, but I'm not going to make a video saying we've got 10 days left of diesel and then it's all gone. I get tired of the clicky bait stuff.
Yep.
But if there's anything in it to it, I'll put some more. I know if we lose another refinery, like the Economic Ninja was saying the other day, he made a video and then we lost like 4 around the globe. That dude, he's called some pretty good shots. You should check him out if you hadn't.
Well, there's a guy that said that he would get in touch with me, call me today, and he's going to try to see if he can get a video for me Tuesday and some information. Actually, because I told him, I said, look, I just can't say hearsay. I got to have some facts. And he said he would try to get me a video and maybe an email that the company was sending. And if so, we'll bring it to you. Otherwise, we try not to bring you anything that we don't have facts about.
Yeah, and I've got a call with a big oil producer. Maybe he'll fill us in on the diesel prices. Been in his whole life. I can't wait to do that. And we've got some really good stuff coming up. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider it. And hitting the like button always helps, and sharing this information helps probably the most. So thank you guys for being here. Let's do some call outs.
Yes, I want to see everybody. I miss what everybody says. And by the way, I hope one day we get to meet up and
lots
get
of
to see
farmers
everybody
around here. Oh yeah, we're going to meet up one day. MNJ.
Oh, that's my favorite girl.
Yeah, she's awesome. Charger Mopar.
I miss your comments. You have interesting comments.
Michael Carter. Buy ghee. It's butter. I do like ghee. I just cooked some shrimp in ghee a while ago, but I like butter on things. I like to cook with ghee and I like to put butter on stuff. I don't really like to cook with butter too much because the flash points isn't that good. Mrs. Mary. She's awesome. Greg Martin. The hobo tographer. He's great.
Hey,
I appreciate all you guys. Arc Signal. Okay, the DEF situation, the DEF fluid, it looks like it's a nothing burger, but the prices are way up. Like we said, diesel fuel's going to be here. It's just going to be real expensive. But that's another one I'm going to look at both of them, DEF and diesel. Both of them are a really big deal. Uncommon Sense, Paul Lops. Did they say his name? Yes. Thank you for being here. Weight Train.
What is it? What? Yes, solar is a great idea. Some big battery. Yeah, we need to look into solar a little more. We're behind a little on that.
Yeah, I just know technology and everything seems like it's going to get better, but I could be wrong.
I have about 10 pounds of it. Yep, so do we. I freeze butter and I rotate it.
It's a great idea. If you're not buying extra and then eating off the front, you're really screwing up. Jersey Girl, Laura Admuda, MNJ, Greg, Lynn Jacobs, music and videos. Dale Sutherland. I don't know how far back to go.
Well, just read the comments. I like hearing what people have to say.
Well, where do you want to start?
Well, I don't know. I love talking to you guys. Your information is invaluable.
I was at DMV changing my driver's license, and the two ladies that work
We're watching the money.
We're watching the money company pension or
go down
401k
daily.
Go down daily. Oh man.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, this is an interesting fact as well.
That's true.
I was getting my passport updated, and there was military in there, a bunch of them. I had to go back a couple times because I didn't have the right stuff. And each time I went, it was loaded up with military guys. And I asked the lady when I finally got in there, I said, "Is this new?" She said, "Yeah, we've getting a lot of military coming in."
Oh.
And she said she's never been so busy doing passports.
For military?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Yes. Interesting. I didn't know that.
So take it for what it's worth.
I don't know.
But anytime I see something like that, I'm going to try to bring it up. So, guys.
Well, just so you know, if you want to get your passport renewed, if it's past 5 years expired, good luck. Poor guy had to go through the whole new.
Yeah, you got to do the whole thing. And
sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I just
look into it.
Keep it short and sweet because we've been on here for 27 minutes. Have an awesome, awesome day, guys. I look forward to visiting with you every time. Later.